welcome to Choosing Plants. My name is Heather, and this is the channel where I do different 30-day vegan challenges to see what diets are best for different lifestyles and what might be best for losing weight versus what might be best for somebody who is a volume eater or something along those lines. So anyway, I'm sorry for those of you that watch these in real time that I have been out of pocket essentially for about a week and a half now. I was really sick. Like, I have 3 boys that are young enough to still be in school, and they've been homeschooled for the last 3 years, and we finally decided, since they opened up a new charter school in our area, that we would send them back to public school. Thought that would be good for them, and they're loving it, and that's great, but little kid germs have been coming home. So excuse me, I have been sick for the last few days, actually about the last 5 days, and today I'm finally feeling human again. So I thought we would go ahead and give a new diet a start. So going to be doing Dr. McDougall's maximum weight loss program this time. I was fairly confident that my mom has this book. Like, I gave it to her, but she can't find it. So maybe I gave it to my mother-in-law. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because anything that you want to find from Dr. McDougall really and truly can be found online. He's one of those type of people that just gives all the information out there that you would possibly ever need just for free. It's just there. So you can just go look it up. It's obviously more convenient when it's in a book because it's all right in one spot. You don't have to go searching for things, but that's okay. So there are some definite things that I wanted to talk about quick about this plan. I printed out his from January, it's actually January 2005, the McDougall newsletter, and it's been published multiple times since then, but this was the most complete version that I found that I wanted to print out. So basically, what the maximum weight loss program for Dr. McDougall is, it's obviously a starch-based program. So if you know who Dr. McDougall is, you know that he is super into starch, and that's what you need in order to be successful with maintaining a healthy body weight, as well as being satisfied with what you eat. So he goes over what the requirements are for this particular plan. So I went ahead and I have that in front of me, and I wanted to share some of that with you so you would have a feel for what it is that this month's challenge is going to be about. So the first thing on his list are, these are basically, it says, measures taken to emphasize weight loss. Sounds good. So the first one is to thrive on unrefined starch. And so he goes through and he talks about that, and then he talks about practical tips for being at home. And it says that things like squash and potatoes are lower in calories than other grains, and they're good for very rapid weight loss. Starches like beans, peas, lentils are slow. They slow the emptying of the stomach, keeping you feeling satisfied longer, and thereby encouraging weight loss and providing emotionally rewarding dining experience. It's a very nice way to put that you enjoy your eating. That's cool. Anyway, so he does say on here that you need to find one starch-based meal that you enjoy for every meal. So if you eat multiple times a day, you need to be having a starch-based meal for every meal. So the second thing is to avoid refined foods and flours. So basically what I take from this is just don't reduce your grains into smaller parts. So it says minimize your intake of flour products. They did allow occasionally having corn tortillas because there's only 50 calories in a corn tortilla, and you're not going to eat a whole ton of them. So whereas you could literally sit down and eat like half a loaf of bread at a time type of thing. That was their main point. But it said for best results, processed foods should be kept to special occasions or eliminate entirely if weight loss is difficult for you, which weight loss is definitely difficult for me. So I might just actually consider eliminating them completely, or just very, very infrequently. I don't typically eat bread anyway, so that's not an issue, but I do like pasta. That's yummy. So that we'll have to keep in mind and consider. The next one is eat green and yellow vegetables. He says that he suggests about a third of a meal should be from these low-calorie vegetables for accelerating weight loss. But if you are desperate, which I don't know that I'm desperate, but if you're desperate, then you can push that amount to half of your plate. So basically, what it goes through on that is that you do want to have vegetables and you want to eat them as part of every meal. And what you want to do is you want to eat them first and eat your starch last. So with every meal that you're eating, about a third to half of it should be a veggie, and then it should be obviously that you're enjoying your starch with that as well. The next part is to eat more raw foods, and it says raw vegetables are less digestible, providing fewer calories, which we know, and basically he says to keep stuff cut up on hand in your refrigerator at any point in time so that if you want a snack, it's readily available, and you could just go have a snack. You don't have to be looking for something, and then obviously finding something that's junk that you shouldn't be finding. So the next one is avoid all high-fat plant foods. So nut seeds, olives, avocados, and soy products. says that richer foods should be kept for holidays and then only after you've lost whatever unwanted body fat that you have. So the only bummer of that for me is the soy products and the avocados. I could see the health benefit that Dr. Greger or Dr. Furman would attach to nuts, in which case I understand why that would be good. But at the same time, it's not that big a deal to me if I don't get any. It doesn't bother me. Avocados I do like to have when we, like say if we have sushi, vegan sushi, I will miss that a little bit. And then soy products like soy curls. Tofu's not a big deal, but I do like to put soy curls and stuff. So anyway, that'll be a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. The next one is minimize sugar intake, so avoid sugar. And the next one after that is minimize fruits, which will be totally different because the last challenge that I did with Dr. Greger, you're supposed to have like 4 servings of fruit a day. That was a challenge. But anyway, it says keep fruits to 1 or 2 servings a day. You should think of them as a healthy dessert. And it says for the maximum weight loss program, try to be even more restrictive. So for snacks, you should try to have green and yellow vegetables like peppers, green pea pods, tomatoes, jicama, and carrots in place of fruits. So I would say having a piece of fruit a day is not a big deal. Having more than that probably would be a little bit of an issue. So it does also say in here to avoid all juices and dried fruits and keep fresh fruit to a minimum. So that's doable. This next one sounds kind of a little tricky for me, but eat slowly and frequently. The slowly part's not that big a deal. I mean, that's okay, fine. Chew a bunch, okay. But it says the advantages of frequent smaller meals, like up to 8 to 14, eating 8 to 14 times a day, which sounds ridiculous to me, are you have less dependency on your body's storage mechanism, which, okay, that's actually good. Don't store it because you don't need to store it because there's more food coming. Lower total daily insulin production, which occurs with small frequent meals, and then improved awareness. So basically you're having the same amount of calories in the day, you're just splitting it up into a lot of different meals. It says plan on many meals and snacking throughout the day on healthy choices. I'm not really sold on that one, not because I don't think it's a good idea, just because it sounds like it's going to be a lot more work. So normally I take a glass container of food with me. Maybe I would just, instead of taking 1 glass container, I would take the same amount of food in 2 smaller glass containers and then just eat that. I don't really know. I'm going to have to think about that one. That might be a little bit of a challenge for me. This next one is definitely going to be a challenge because this is probably actually I'm just not even going to worry about this one. I'm probably not going to do it. But the next one is keep your meals simple. Be monotonous. I totally agree with this. Variety causes you to eat more. I agree with that. If it's new and exciting and different, yay, it's wonderful, right? But yeah, I'm not the monotonous type of person. I do like certain things and I like to repeat them, but I'm probably not going to be eating the same thing on a regular basis because that's really boring to me. So, yeah. The next one is lower salt intake. It says that we seek salt, and as a result, saltiness of food increases the amount that we consume. So basically it says if you're going to have salt, have a little bit on the surface of your food so that you can actually taste it, and don't cook with it. So don't put it in your food when you're cooking, just put it on the top of your food if you need it to have a little extra flavor. Just having gotten done with a challenge where salt was at an absolute minimum, I don't see that being a big problem, but we'll see. And then the next one says it's okay to be hungry. No, it's not. Yeah, so basically it says you don't have to eat. If there's nothing available to you that is healthy to eat, just don't eat. Eat when you can, when it's convenient, and it will be just fine. Okay, maybe. And then it talks about, the next one is exercise. It says, I'll skip this one for you, but anyway, basically exercise is good for you. After having done the exercise challenge, I actually do really like that idea as well, so I'm probably going to continue to exercise every day. Maybe not every day, but pretty close to every day. So that will be something that I will definitely be doing as well. Avoid alcohol. We don't even need to talk about that because I don't drink anyway. So, and the next thing talks about insomnia and the fact that you need to sleep, and yeah, we're just not going to focus on that one either because my schedule is what it is. I sleep when I sleep. If I get 6 hours of sleep a day, that's like insane. That's awesome. Pretty unusual. So anyway, it is what it is. I can't change that, so that's fine. It's just going to be that's not changing across any of my plans here. That really isn't changing. Unless I get a different job and I don't work on and off night schedule, then I guess we'll see. But anyway, that is what I'm going to be doing next. I have several other challenges that I would also like to do, but this one seemed like a good time of the year for that. Starches in the fall. It's not quite fall yet, but it's close to being fall. Starches in the fall seem like a good idea. Lots of squashes around, as you can see. Lots of potatoes and that kind of thing. I do want to do a raw vegan challenge as well, or maybe a high raw, so that mostly raw. And doing that when it's getting into fall season didn't seem like that would be very smart to me. So I might have to save that for next late spring, early summer. But anyway, that's it for me, guys, for today. And I hope you all are doing real well and no one's getting sick in this coming up illness season. But gonna be flu time soon. Anyways, that's it for me, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 1, and we'll make some food.